All right, so we got another podcast. This is going to be a great one. We have, of course, Turner Riddle, my buddy Chris Kirkkof, Stephanie Santamaria. I am your host, Chris Santamaria. This is the Bodybuilding Unleashed podcast. What's up, gentlemen?
How are you guys?
Good,
Good.
good.
Okay.
Yeah, busy. We still have a lot to like, well, she has a lot to get settled in with the house and arranging everything. So like we still feel kind of like we're just scrambled. Like we get up and we're like, I don't even know what day it is. And then it's just like going down the list, like what has to get done today? And then can we get it done today?
I'm so happy I'm past that, man. Like I feel like it took me like, we've been here now for 4 months. It felt like the whole at least 2 months was like that. And then it was like every other day was like a new problem that wasn't just like unpacking and settling. Then I had some new like catastrophe to like solve. So
Yeah.
Well, and we're finding out like the weirdest things. Like, so we went to get our mailbox keys, and they're like, yeah, that'll be 6 to 8 weeks. And I was like, 6 to 8 weeks? I
yeah.
was like, how do I get my mail? What do people do? And she's like, oh, you got to come here every day and get your mail.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of that, to be honest. Like that's what the post office told her.
We didn't get mail for the first month. They're like, oh yeah, you're on like a forwarding address to your home in Texas. I'm like, no, we're here now.
Yeah.
I have the thing sitting in the mailbox that says like we're here, like give me my mail.
And now I'm just trying to figure out how to switch our IDs and our like registration license plates over from Minnesota to Nevada.
Well, I haven't done that yet because Texas had no state income tax and Montana does, so I haven't switched a single thing.
Good, good. Yeah, I always have to remind myself that
Go
you
ahead.
guys just moved from Texas and it's like, yeah, you're starting to kind of still get settling in too.
Yeah. No.
You're in Montana?
I'm in Montana now. Yeah, we were in Texas. Now we've owned this home for a few years, and we just kind of finally it was like abrupt this summer, like make the move, like full time. But it's been good for the family. It's been great for like my wife and kids. It's been harder for me because I had just like I feel like I had one of the nicest home gyms in like the country, and so like my shop here was like half the size. So like I was scrambling this summer to be like, what pieces am I bringing? What will fit? And it's a whole like it was a guesswork, and like I'm like, all right, I'm gonna bring the upper body stuff because it's more like unique. I can get a leg workout, on just about anything, and I get it all shoved in there. Like it didn't fit, and I had to it took me like weeks to rearrange everything before I could use it, and it's still like it's like working out in a coffin. It's so tight. I mean, I have so like bruises on my shins because I just bump into something every day in there when I do train in there instead of the gym. But it's been a trade-off.
How many square feet is your gym?
This one's like 800. My one in Texas was like 3,000.
Nice.
I sold off like this is when I decided on the upper body stuff, it was only because I'm like, well, the leg stuff has a bigger footprint. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like your pendulum squat, I had like a swing squat. This stuff is heavier. It's going to cost more to ship it. The footprint is larger. We'll just sell it off, and then when I can build a new building, which hopefully is going to happen in the spring, I'll just reacquire all my leg stuff, and we'll just deal with training at the gym. The gym, like for as remote as a place as we live, the gym there's multiple gyms. They're actually pretty acceptable. Like the equipment is,
That's good.
it's fine. It's not what I had, but it's fine.
Right. I
Uh,
just built a home gym at my house. So
okay.
I was going to build a public gym. And so I've been kind of collecting and acquiring equipment for years.
Yeah.
And then I started really buying some because I was going to build a public gym. And that I kind of shut that idea out just because I didn't want that much headache. I thought it would be easy. I just thought it'd be an easy transition. It's kind of the low hanging fruit. And I said, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. And so I put all my stuff in storage. And then I've been paying storage on my stuff for probably 3 years.
Oh.
And I got the idea because for me to go to the gym, one way is 30 minutes and the other way is 20 minutes. So I live pretty remote too. And so it's the same way for my wife. For her to go to the gym, she's 35 minutes one way, 25 minutes the next way. And so if you go work out for an hour and then you have an hour drive home, so I just said, you know what, I'm gonna build a big shop and I'm gonna make as much of it a gym as I've got equipment for, and so the rest I'll park all my toys and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm in the process of getting all that complete right now, and so I'm so excited. I can
It's fun. It's
like
fun. Like it's fun buying stuff and getting the pieces and yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I love that whole marketplace search and go pick stuff up and make it your own.
People would give stuff away on marketplace. Now it's become like people will they'll search the whole nation like these used sellers, and so they'll buy stuff like that. But there was a time like 3 or 4 years ago where people would just like somebody had like an old they were like 30 minutes from me and they had the original like chain driven Nautilus pullover, from like Dorian's days. They're
I've
like,
got
oh,
it.
this thing's like 400 pounds. Just come and get it from me and you can have it. I'm like, that piece is worth $6,000. Like, and you have
Easy.
no idea that it's just been sitting in your basement collecting dust.
I found a guy in Kentucky. I've got that piece that you're talking about. I
Yeah.
found a guy in Kentucky that was like enamored by original Nautilus stuff. And so
Yeah.
like he would buy it all over the country, bring it in and like replace all the bearings and the gears and
Yeah.
put new chains and oil it and get it all right, all the pads and stuff. And so I think I bought like 6 pieces from him a couple years ago, and I've just been like if they've got this super badass rear, it's a rear delt, but it's like a pec deck for your rear delts. I
Mhm.
bought that's been sitting in storage for 3 years now, and I get to like use it here coming up. So I'm like so ecstatic about that.
Dude, I was just gonna ask you how the gym is going because I knew you were in the process of opening it up. So so tell us now, is it just like for you and your clients and your wife, or like how does it work?
I'll answer that question, but to your point, before COVID, like lots of people had home gyms, and then when COVID came around, everyone was like, "I got to get a home gym. They're not going to shut me down like that." And so that drove the price of stuff like you're talking about, where people are like, "Hey, man, just come get it. Like it takes up too much space. Can you just like get it out of this area
Yeah.
for me?" Or whatever. And so like that kind of drove the price up really high on a lot of stuff. And now all the gyms have opened back up and people still have their home gyms, but now that things have opened back up, people are like, all right, I'm going to get rid of my home gym because now I'd like to have a car in there or whatever. And so it's kind of funny, like all markets do like this. But so back to your point, or your question, yes, I don't personal train anyone in person, and I
Mhm.
haven't for 2014 maybe. And so I when people think they ask you, they're like, "Oh, you're a personal trainer, right?" Like, and a lot of us technically are, but it's much more in detail as to what we do than personal train. And you don't go into that story every single time you talk to someone. Most of the time, you're probably like, "Yeah, I'm a personal trainer. Like, that's what I do." You know what I mean? And then it's like,
Yeah.
"All right, I got to go." In the grocery store or whatever. But since I've had all this like prime equipment, not the brand prime, but stuff that I've hand selected and I've been acquiring and collecting and stuff, I'll I mean, we have neighbors out here, but I don't live in like a neighborhood. We're pretty far out in the country, and so I've got some neighbors that want to get in shape, and I'm looked at as like the guy, the healthy nut guy that knows about all that. And so
Yeah.
I'll let some of my I'll let some of my neighbors come in, and I'll probably just let them go work out. And unless they want me to help them, then I'll do that. But you know, those doors will probably never be locked. If you want to get in there, you got to know how to get in there and things like that. But I will probably start taking on some personal training clients just because it's like at this point now I don't even have to leave the house other than to go to the grocery store, take my daughter to school, and so it'll be big enough that I can have multiple people training at a time or whatever. So you know I don't want to take on 8 clients a day, but
Yeah.
you never know what the money's like. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Sure.
But it's built for me because it's my stuff and my wife and my family. I think for me, a big plus here or cherry on top is the fact that like I'm not saying my daughter's got to be like nut guru about the gym like we are, but I think it's cool for her to grow up and see like mommy and daddy worked out, because the reason I work out and train like I do is because my dad always had like a squat rack with a bench with dumbbells and like a random piece here there over the years. And so it was just like I started working out at probably 6th grade, like officially working out, not bodybuilding, but like I had a routine. I had the weight bench and the dumbbells and things like that. And so I want her to know that like we eat healthy, we want to be strong.
hmm You know
So
what's crazy? Like I thought of this just randomly as you were talking, and Flex Wheeler said this, on a podcast. I forgot who he was on, but he shared this recently, and he's like, "Look at our sport." He's like, all other sports in a sense are trying to be like us. Like they're trying to be strong. And he kind of like shouted out other sports like look at, WWE. After they body slam someone, they're like,
Right,
look at
most muscular.
look at football that they smash the ball and then they're like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? So it's like everyone as a human wants to be strong, but then today's society, like we're not teaching our kids the right thing. Like we're not teaching them to train. We're not teaching them how to eat right. But then you go back to what Flex was saying. That's what everyone really wants deep down.
yeah. I think everyone wants it until they realize like the effort, the work, the consistency, the discipline. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot, but I wouldn't change it for anything. You know what I mean? And the
Yeah.
people around me, that's the thing. Like we're all niche as to what we do. There's enough people out there that like coaching. Like there's enough pie out there we can all coach the people in our area. It's not like there's 46. Well, you're in Vegas, so it's totally different market out there. But like there's enough gyms there that you can still get your little piece of the pie and make a good living and coach people and spread that word. Like you got competing and then you got like getting people in shape. And either way, that's kind of like it's like preaching. Like you got to get the word out to where people believe you and
Mhm.
people want to buy into your process. I was talking to my wife the other day about this. Like I will still go to gyms in Nashville all around because I want to be seen in the gym, but I won't train at a specific gym every day. You know what I mean? I'll just kind of like pick and choose where I go depending on the day or what, but I will spend a lot of time training here because for me, I don't know about you guys, and you guys train in Vegas. I don't know what Montana's like or where you lived in Texas, but in Vegas, it's kind of like the new East Coast. Like it's kind of,
Mhm.
I wouldn't call it the Mecca, but because Vegas is like just so many different, whatever niches. But I don't know. I kind of lost my train of thought there. I know what I was going to say. I just feel like I don't know. I feel like you need to be out there where people can see you and ask questions, and you can only get someone told me once, like when you build a brand, you got to build it locally before you build it all over the whole world. And
Mhm.
so, like where your home gym is, you need to go there, but you also need to like kind of be spastic with where you go to. That way, your spider web gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah,
And
absolutely.
so yeah. Now I know what I was going to say. Like for me, the gym there's no like bodybuilding hardcore gym here in Nashville. And so when I go to the gym, it's a Gold's or it's a YMCA or whatever. And so the people in there they're just there to say they went. No one's in there that's like, I'm fixing to put 6 plates on the deadlift and just deadlift it until my eyes bleed. You know what I'm saying? Like, and most people don't train like that anymore. But I can now have my gym where I can turn the music up as loud as fucking possible and I can grunt. It can be hot, it can be cold. I can blow snot rockets on the fucking floor. You know what I mean? Like all the things that I love to do when I'm in the gym. And so when you go to the gym nowadays, not in Las Vegas, um, it's just sleepy as hell. It's like a library. You know what I mean? You're kind of like, God damn, I'm supposed to 315 incline right here, and these people are just like looking at me crazy because the weights are making noise. Like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
When you have a home gym though, like if there, and I've learned this now, so I've gone back and forth. Like when I was in Texas, like I trained at House of Gains in Austin, and I mean there was I don't know, I mean it was mostly like there's probably at least a dozen pros that train there. Most of them were females, but there were a lot of higher level like males too, and like it had a good atmosphere, and they had an amazing amount of equipment. Then when I went to my home gym, like I realized like I don't need any like external motivation to train to do the crazy workouts, to do a drop set, to do a set of 50 on leg press. But what I found is I'm way stronger when I train in a gym around people. Like, and I don't know if it's like a mentally like safeguard. Like I remember this summer, like it was one of the last leg workouts I did. I had like 10 or 11 plates on like my Cybex squat press. And I don't remember how many reps I got, but I know that like since I've been here, like weights certainly on like leg day and certain machines where like you'd have somebody spot you, like all of a sudden I'm like, why am I getting more reps? Why am I able to lift more weight? You know what I mean? And there's just something that like mentally, I feel like protects you. Like I wasn't in my home gym, like most of my chest stuff, like I'm not doing barbell stuff. So it always came down to like leg day. You know what I mean? Like have a hack squat. I got 8 plates aside and I have the catches set. So it's pretty much at the bottom. Like, well, if I get stuck, like I'm going to get stuck. The squat press, like if I can't get any more, like I'm going to get stuck with this pinned, my knees pinned to my chest with no one in here to help me. And so there's some give and take. Like once I've gone back to the community gym.
Right, right. And I don't need, trust me, I don't need the motivation to go to the
Yeah.
gym and go hard, but like there's another level of go hard when everyone in the gym, or at least the people that are in the gym when you're in the gym or around you, are going hard too, where you're like, okay, not that I have to be the man in the gym and carry the fucking boats, but these dudes are carrying boats, so I'm gonna fucking carry boats too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you go into a gym and it's like old people hour and the music is like da, na, 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 like I went into the one of the bodybuilder gyms here last week, or it's like the day before Christmas, and they're just playing Christmas music. It's like, are you fucking serious? Like, I get it, it's Christmas tomorrow morning, but like it's still gym time. Like I want to get in, and that's, everyone's in their own fucking world with their headphones. So I don't know, it's just
I don't wear headphones to the gym. That would have drove me absolutely crazy. Like I can block out a lot of music, but I think like hearing Rudolph or something as I'm gearing up for a set would have been a little tough.
correct. Correct. And that's why I mean, I don't know. It's wild. That's just that's what society is about nowadays.
I
Mhm.
know for me, like, I don't know if we talked about another pod or not, but it's kind of like when you're in college or you're studying for a test or whatever, like you go to the library to study, or you go to this particular coffee shop to get in that mode, and like when you go to the gym, it's like, all right, now it's gym time. I'm going to blast my fucking music on the way to the gym, and then I'm going to do my little routine. I'm going to do my warm up, and then it's go time. And like I've never owned a home gym like you guys, but I'm sure it'd be easy, crank up the music. It's like this is my house. But like you guys were saying, like there is something to be said about being in the right environment that just takes you up just another level.
Absolutely.
I'd find though before like certain sets, like I'm like, all right, well, there's no one in here to judge me if I start like talking to myself and looking a little nutty, like getting psyched up because you could do that. You kind of stomp around the gym and kind of find this internal motivation where you're like, no one's really looking at me right now. So there's that. I mean, honestly, a good training partner would have just solved everything.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
one person, which I think is my plan here. Like, there's a decent amount of competitors and people that train at the gym that I know now that I'm just like, all right, every leg day or something like that, we'll just invite somebody else to come out and train, and then we'll solve the issue here.
Well, look, it goes back to what you're saying, and this has been my theory for years. But if you go in the gym today, and again, not in Vegas where it's temperature's nice, and there are people in there that want to go hard, like no one's sweating. They're just like dilly dally and texting. They got their foot on their knee between sets. Like in my mind, the same thing that you're talking about. I'm sitting here and I'm like, all right, look, I'm talking to myself at this point. Like, I don't fucking care. I don't know none of these people. And I'm like, ain't nobody in this gym is fucking sweating. I'm the only one in here that's fucking sweating. I'm the only one in here that's inclining 275, or I just start saying those things to
Yeah.
myself. And I'm like, I'm going to have to be the only one in here that's going hard. You know what I mean? And so like, that's how I push myself through workouts like that. It's little sleepy ass gyms. But when you don't have to say that in the thought, what the mentality or whatever you're saying to yourself is like, damn, everybody in this gym is getting fucking after it. Now it's my turn. Like that makes you feel good. That's a whole nother step up on the ladder.
Yeah,
hmm
100%.
Yeah, like so we go to New Tech.
Okay.
Turner, yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but
Never been there.
they opened up like a week before the Olympia, right? So for Olympia, we came out, we trained there for 3 days, and it was good. The equipment, I will say, I was talking to Kirkhoff like daily on this, like it is absolutely next level. I mean, you go to like an apparatus like, chest press I was doing yesterday. There are multiple things that you can and will adjust. Like it doesn't matter if you have long arms, short arms, if you're tall, if you're fat, it doesn't matter. There is a setting that is perfect for you on every machine, which is like you don't really get that, like, on some of the older pieces. But
Right.
it also makes you think like, okay, I can put this wherever I want. So I get it set up, and it's just like the gym's a little quieter because they put a cap to their membership, and the membership fee is high enough to where they can keep the riffraff out.
Right.
But it is different because like literally you go in there and it's like, oh, there's Keon Pearson, multiple 212 champion. There's Regan Grimes. So it's just like you look around and the vibe, it isn't like quite there yet to where like it's loud and like boisterous. But then it's like in between sets, you're looking at multiple champions and it's like, there's no way I can slack off, you know?
Well, and even that, like I've trained around and I'm friends with tons of pros, and you'll notice because you're hyper aware of those things in that setting, but like you'll be around so and so training and you'll be like, wow, look at their physique. And I'm watching them train, which is not out of normal. And you're like, I could have got three more reps out of them, or they leave reps on the table on a daily basis, and it just makes you like, you wonder, you're like, holy shit, you would think so and so trains like god awfully hard or harder than anyone on the planet, and then you see that and it's just like, wow, you know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Just those are just things I noticed
Yeah. It's things that you don't see like on social media, like we are seeing like literally
in
in
person.
person.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool though.
Yeah, one thing I was thinking about, I was actually thinking about this on the way home from the gym. I think we talked about it maybe a long time ago. And maybe you guys have a different answer. Maybe you guys can think of another field where this is different. So like I always use the analogy like when I was selling personal training, I only did personal training for 1 year in my life. And it wasn't, I don't even think it was a full 12 months. But I was training manager at several different clubs. Like LA Fitness is where I started. I was the training manager at Gold's for a while, anytime. So all I did was sell training packages, right? And me and my coworker at the time, when we were in between sets and everything, we're like, why is it that the fitness industry, you can be like, you can go into a gym and you're your own expert. So what I mean by that is like, I've never golfed in my life. I probably never will because I have no interest. I've mini golfed. I've never golfed, right? But I know for sure if a friend's in town, they're like, hey, you got to check out this course. Just come with me. I know for sure that I'm going to ask for help. I'm going to take a lesson and be like, all right, I clearly don't know what I'm doing. But why is it when people sign the membership and they sign, nope, I got it. Nope, I'm good. I know what to do. The instructions are right on the machine. Why is it? I think fitness might be the only category where you can walk in as like a complete nobody. You've never used the equipment, but all of a sudden you know what you're doing. Like, why is that?
Man, I'll take a shot at it. I
I
feel like
want
you
to
you
hear it.
expand this to like my biggest, like I feel like where things have gone wrong is like social media. Because now you take the average, it's not you take the average gym person, okay, they don't need help. They just automatically think that they know how to use the machine. Now down to we have a 20-year-old kid who's 170 pounds. Somehow he's accumulated 50,000 followers and his reels are getting 100,000 views. And he's like, here are my 5 S-tier chest exercises. And you don't have a chest. You know what I mean? Like you're right. Like if you made a golf channel on Instagram and it took you like the first hole, you took you 12 shots to get in, you would absolutely know without a doubt to yourself, you'd be like, I'm not good. You mean
Yeah.
you're like, okay, I gotta putting up this reel on how to shoot a basketball and you miss 30 straight shots. You know you're not good. But somehow when it comes to people's bodies, they're absolutely like completely delusional. Delusional. You know what I mean? Like you see this all the time with like people when the first time they compete, right? They'll be like, I'm shredded, and they look like you're like you're 12 weeks out. You know what I mean? Like no, nobody ever, unless they get the right coach the first time, shows up on stage like in shape. Like whatever it is, when they look at themselves in the mirror or perceive what they have on the bar or whatever, however they're doing the exercise, it's the most delusional like thing ever. It should be studied in psychology. Like whatever people because it's not just it's like how they do the exercise, it's how much weight they lift, they think they're strong, it's how they look, it's delusional across the board, and it's just like it's a psychological phenomenon that needs to be studied.
I think it goes way beyond or before social media. I just think social media has exacerbated it, like
Yeah,
beyond.
you see it now, it's everywhere. It's anytime you scroll through the you're gonna find one of these idiots.
I mean, I feel like 15 years ago, being a personal trainer was like you had to walk the walk and talk the part and be able to show it. You know what I mean? Like people had to be in the gym and be like, that's our, that's the personal trainer. Nowadays, it's just like, fuck, man, this guy is personal training this guy, and they look about the same. You know what I'm saying, or what have you? Or you got old woman. Like I was in the YMCA today. I have a YMCA membership because they have childcare, so that helps. But I had so many gym memberships that and building my gym, I just started getting rid of them, and so I'm down to the Y because they have childcare. But there's the Y's got lots of old people, especially depending on what time you go. But I mean, there's people in there now. There's a trainer or two that looks like they work out, but there's a lot of trainers in there, and it's just like, did all they do is do the weekend course to get their certifications, and that's really all it comes down to. And I can remember early on starting as a coach, like people would ask me what certifications I had, and I'm like, I'm gonna get you off your fucking ass. I'm gonna put you on a diet, and you're gonna check in with me, and like I'm gonna hold you accountable like a coach does. My certifications and your lack there of knowledge are two totally different things. You know what I'm saying? But
Well,
that's
here's the weird thing, like to follow it up, and then we'll kind of move on because we got other things to chat about. But here's what I don't understand. So as a training manager, we had to get a certain amount of people off the floor and sell them training. And if we didn't sell them training, we had to at least get them interested in training. So we were instructed you had to do this. Like especially on weekends when it was busy, when people were signing up, you had to go up to someone, introduce yourself, and say, "Hey, you see someone like I'll give you an example. Is the 60-year-old guy, he just retired. He's going in with jeans. No joke, he's got gardening gloves on.
yeah.
This is his version of a weightlifting glove. He's got gardening gloves, he's got jeans, he's got a button-up t-shirt, and he's on some exercise doing it completely wrong. And you say, hey, sir, my name is Chris. I'm the training manager at LA Fitness. Do you mind if I show you a couple things that a lot of people have found really useful in this particular exercise? Yeah, sure. Let me show you. But then why do people get offended? Like, no, no, I know what to do. I read the instructions. I'll tell you right now, we go bowling maybe once every 4 years. Okay. When I go bowling, it's gutter ball after gutter ball after gutter ball. If I somehow make it down the lane, it's like a two. I get two pins down.
Yeah.
I know for a fact I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm not afraid to ask for help. Like if the manager came and say, "Hey, I'm John. I'm the manager of so and so bowling alley. Do you mind if I show you a couple things to, help your roll?" Sure. Yeah, what do you got for me? But then when you go and on the fitness floor, nope. Like Turner said, even before social media, everyone's an expert and they take offense to where it's like, I know damn well when I go to a bowling alley, I'm going to get embarrassed. Why is it though, when people walk into a gym, all of a sudden, I just signed the contract and now I am an expert. I know what to do. I don't need help.
Ego. The reason I say ego is because like majority of the people in the gym are using too heavy of a weight. I'm not saying don't try to go heavy as possible, but like there's a hey, this is heavy as possible to get results, and then it's like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, where'd you see someone do that? You know what I mean? And there's a lot of that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, anyways, so I was going to give you an example of like something stupid people do, but I'm like, you've all seen it a million times.
Yeah. We'll move on. What do you guys think? I was talking to Kirkhoff this morning about this. Turner, I don't know how much you've seen on like the Justin Compton Kai thing.
I, I,
What?
I, I think I've only seen where Compton said what he said, and I think I saw where Kai rebutted,
Yeah,
but I haven't seen anything like I've seen a couple different um, Instagrammers who have said, "Oh, they've posted their clickbaits," but I
right.
haven't read into it. What do you got?
Yeah, oh, that's exactly what it is. In my opinion, I was telling Kirkhoff this morning, like I watched the episode. So like on my downtime, I'm always listening to podcasts. It's
Right.
always going on. So I happened to listen to the full episode where Compton, like if you know Compton, he's a straight shooter like we are. He's gonna tell you straight. But he's not going to disrespect you unless you've disrespected him in somehow, in some way. He'll tell you straight. And like he was being respectful. Like he had a lot of good things to say about Kai, but he just said respectfully, he wasn't going to beat Phil no matter what. But the powers that be didn't let him win because of his past. So like he didn't say anything like negative. He didn't judge him for his past. He just gave his opinion. And then someone took that clip, they sent it to Kai, and
Right.
then
Got
now
it.
it's
Got
been
it worked up.
yeah, now it's just been blown over. But like I was telling Kirkhoff this morning, why are we like one of those sports where it's like if there's nothing going on, like we're in our
Drama.
down season, the Arnold Classic is coming up, and it's like it always goes like negative, you know?
Man, I do know, and I don't like it. I mean, and that's why when I see that shit, like, people talk about Bob Chicarillo and
Hmm.
all this fucking drama, and I'm like I've got enough work on my plate to not worry about that drama. I think it's funny that you see someone like Bob Chicarillo who's 60 or whatever,
Hmm.
and like this is what you're doing with your time at 60. You know what I mean? It's like going back and forth with 21-year-olds, but
Yeah.
but it's always something. I mean, the thing is, like, that's why all of us are on podcasts is to tell it how we see it. I don't think that I don't know based off what I heard Justin say. Like it's like you said, he was just telling him his thoughts, and
Yeah.
I mean, Justin at the time was the one of the only white guys that could take down either one of those two guys possibly. It never happened, but so I don't think that Justin's was out of his out of line by saying that. I
No.
mean, I've always thought Kai is probably one of the best to do it. Like he should be always be in the conversation with like the Nassers or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's even still
Absolutely.
today big as fuck. Like he didn't just like give it up and just shrink
No.
down and just start talking shit. Like he's still living the life. He's weird, but
Hmm.
there's a lot of other people out there that are weird. You know what I mean? You look at Justin now, and Justin's back. I mean, I know Justin pretty well, and like he's back put on good size again. You know what I mean? So he's. I feel like he can say what he wants to say. He's a very knowledgeable person. He's a very good coach. He was an excellent bodybuilder. So
Hmm.
I find it funny that the people that have no clue about bodybuilding, like that gets them riled up. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
Yeah.
bro, that's like he was saying earlier. Like, you're 175 pounds. Why are you worried about what fucking Compton said about Kai, which was 8 years plus years ago? You need to worry about eating your fucking peanut butter and jellies at night.
Well,
You know
that's how they build their page. Some,
exactly, and
clickbait
that's
content
where the
to
Yes.
fucking
hook people
problem
in, even
lies.
though, yeah, they have terrible content. It's like, oh, this reel people in with drama.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's these couple, which I know you've seen them. I don't know all the names, but there's one that's like Ivan Bodybuilding on YouTube,
Yep.
and he's
Yep.
the guy that's got the weird voice. And now there's this new one. What's his? You'll know exactly who I'm talking about. I'm trying to think.
Muscle
What the?
Discord.
Yeah, like what
Yeah.
the fuck? Who
Yeah.
is this guy? You know
Matt.
what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
I don't know him. I don't, but I can look at him. Just the way he talks makes me want to punch him. Like watching him talk makes me want to punch him. And then knowing that he's not really a credible source, but he gets all these people worked up. And I mean, like you see some of his posts, and they've got like 400 comments, and I'm like, Lord, that's
Yeah.
you know what I mean? What are we talking about here?
Yeah. I mean, like, I like some of the stuff, and I do say some, meaning a very small portion. Like, I like that he's not afraid to say some of those things. But when your whole channel is like derived on this like negative, like it's just kind of like, why, dude?
It makes my fucking head hurt because if you watch sports, which you guys are both sports guys, I'm sure, of some sort. Not saying you watch every game and know every player, but like if you watch Sports Center or you watch ESPN, it's never any of that. Like they may say so and so got pulled over at 165 in his car, and then it just blows over. And I
Mhm.
say this about the bodybuilding industry: like you give it 2 weeks, you'll never hear another word about it. I mean, you might somebody might say something, but it's like every 2 weeks we've got some new bodybuilding drama that just is like this totally new thing that we gotta all put our opinion on the internet about it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's completely accurate.
Um, whether it's Nick Walker and Matt Jensen have got divorced, or Kai is like, who cares if Kai fucked a fruit or whatever he did? I've been in the sport for almost 15, 18 years, whatever at this point, and I've never seen that video. Like when they posted the clickbait of that, and you could see Kai, and then they had like Justin, like I like screenshot it to like scroll in to see what I was missing. Not like I want to see his dick, but like what is this whole 10 years going on about Kai fucked a grapefruit? You know what I mean? Like I've never seen the video, so it's not like it's just all over the internet. Just they're
Yeah.
gonna hate you on top, and you don't know what you're talking about at the bottom. You know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty
Which is,
crazy.
the one thing that I love about it all now coming full circle is like Phil Heath. You rarely ever saw anything about Phil Heath, and that's kind of what I was saying earlier. Is like on ESPN and Sports Center, they show good stuff. Like we're showing highlights. This person's injured. How are they? But it's never like Tom Brady and his quarterback coach by the name of are working on plays, the wheel route, the hook route. They're never like giving you exactly what the bodybuilders, or I'm sorry, the plays and how many passes that Tom Brady threw every single day. But on the bodybuilding industry, it's like, oh, I'm going to give you my exact training split and my diet word for word and a day's eating of the bodybuilder. It's like, I get it. We're all kind of marketing ourselves, but I've always said that the more stuff you put out, yes, you have to get your word out, but you're kind of watering down your name because that's what people pay. That's why people go pay this big money to watch Tom Brady play is because he works off the court all day long. And it's like bodybuilders are willing to just tell you everything that they do and then be like, hey, why don't you pay me 300 a month so I can coach you? Well, if you didn't post, 8 posts a day every single day, people would probably want to do that more and be willing to pay that. But now it's about content and it's about, well, I just got to get out. I got to just push content, push content, push content. It's not about like, like for instance, Chris Aceto, he might make a post a month. You know
Hmm.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like those who know how Chris is, he speaks very rare. Like he doesn't speak a lot.
Mhm.
He might write a post, but it's got some good meaning to it, and then that's it. And he doesn't go back in the comments, all day long. It's just I don't know, man. And he's not at the end of the year posting, this is my 12 best posts. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like you're watering down your name when you're always talking about, I got my clients doing this, X, Y, and Z. So then you have all these people out here, like you said, that know what they're talking about. They know how to, write up a supplement protocol or write their own diet. And it's like, no, you don't. You don't have a fucking clue. You need to pay someone like myself who does this for a living. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I,
But
I
it's
think my Instagram algorithm hates me so much that it like feeds me these people to like recommend, and then you click on their page and they have like even if they have like 200 followers and their bios like coach DM me for program like have you ever lifted a weight like and
yeah.
then somehow Instagram just loves to show me these people just to get under my skin I feel like
Oh yeah.
Well,
But there's a lot of them out there.
so many
I,
of
I
these
don't go ahead.
so
I'm
many
sorry.
of these coaches now are just paying to be coached by someone else, and they're just regurgitating something from a
right
program they or a
Yeah.
course they took.
yeah
But to my point,
It's
like
not their own actual knowledge.
like Tom Brady's quarterback coach is not on Instagram telling you exactly how he coached Tom Brady and giving you like play by plays. You know what I mean? And like posting his transformation with Tom Brady. Like he's just a master of his craft, and people know that.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And then you have these people that think they're masters of the craft, and they're outwardly pushing that over and over and over. I
Yeah.
don't know.
It's always funny too, like when we get clients, I mean, we had this happen a lot the past year or two, and it's like, oh, we get a client from, someone in Minneapolis, and I never ask because like a client, I'm sure you get this a lot, Turner, where they're like, aren't you curious to see your other coach's protocol? And like
Right.
in my head, I'm thinking, I don't want to see it because it's full of shit. But then they share it anyway, and
Yeah.
I look at it. I'll look at it absolutely, And it's like I look at it and it's like, oh, that's AJ Sims protocol word for word. You just copied and you know, just copied and pasted because you worked with AJ. And
Yep.
it's like you didn't even, I mean, you didn't even adjust anything. You know what I mean? It's our sport's so silly because like in another industry, you might get sued off of something like that, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, and anytime a client asks me that, like I'm like, I don't even want to see it like you said, Turner. I know what I'm doing. We're gonna, we're gonna take the clay and we're gonna make it into a masterpiece. I don't care what you did before, you know?
Once a month, I usually get asked about synthol. And I've said the same thing about synthol since day one. They're
Hmm.
like, hey, it's like, hey, I just wanted to pick your brain about synthol. Like, I understand like stretch the fascia. This is them talking. Like, I understand stretch the fascia and blah 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 blah, whatever that whole spill is. And it's like, well, you can't even get a pump and eat right and train that muscle hard. Like I can look at you and tell you don't train that muscle hard. And what do you think stretching the fascia? Like you need to go to the gym and try to stretch the fascia before you start putting a needle in it.
That's it. That's it right
I,
there.
I don't know. There's been plenty of people that have maybe had good luck with synthol, but for the amount of unnecessary work that goes into that, it's like, what are we doing, people? You know what I mean? But it's always
Yeah.
like that. Like you got the people that want the drama and the like you guys have the friends or the clients that when that drama is going on they're posting in it, like they're putting their 2 cents in it, you know what I
Hmm.
mean, and then like screenshotting it and sending it to you, and then you have the other people that like they didn't even know that shit's going on.
Hmm. I got a
So
funny question for you, Turner. We'll see. I kind of have an idea, but I want to ask you guys anyway. So this would have been, I'm trying to think of the year. Okay, so it's 2012. So I had gone through, this is the first time I hit rock bottom in my life. Like before, I didn't have any health issues really other than like IBS. I've never broken a bone to this day, never. So I've never really had any like serious tribulations in life. I haven't hit rock bottom. Then I had colitis in 2013. I dropped 50 pounds in 2 weeks in the hospital, and I had to come back from that. And there was a time I never thought about quitting, never. But there was 1 week, and I was like, you know what? I finally came back and I got to a respectable weight. So I had gotten below 150 in the hospital. When I had made the climb back, I was like, okay, that's it. I'm still going for the pro card. I'm going to get it all back. And when I was about 190, I was looking decent. You could tell like I was a competitor, right? But I wasn't back yet. And like when I hit the 190, took pictures, of course, and I'm like, you know, maybe this, maybe this is good enough. Like maybe I don't have to chase it anymore. Like, I don't know, maybe I won't compete. So then I tried it. I tried it for maybe it was like, I don't even think it was 3 full sessions. And I went in and I'm like, I'm not a competitor anymore. So maybe today I'll just go like 65%. And I went in there and I remember doing legs and I'm like, okay, all right. And I was done in like 40 minutes or whatever. And then I did it for like the second day. And then the third day I go in there and I'm like, fuck that. Like, that's it. I can't do it. So my question is, have you guys ever gone in there and tried to like just be like a commoner? Have you ever gone in there and just be like, I'm just gonna do like 50% today?
not at all.
Okay.
And I'll tell you this, my mentality has changed over the years, and what I mean by that is like in 2012 up until 2022 ish, like the more I trained and the better my workouts were, the more it made me want to train.
Mhm.
Right. And so I was always a little guy, like growing up. So I didn't hit 100 pounds until sophomore year in high school. Right. And I wrestled 112 um, sophomore and junior year. So that just shows you. And freshman year, I had to wrestle 112 too because I couldn't beat the 103.
Mhm.
Because that was kind of where my weight was, right in that 105 range. But um, once I picked up training, I just love the way it made me feel. And so, just like being addicted, like I was totally addicted to training. But now as I get older, I don't train near as much. I don't train as long. I don't train as many sets because like I realized that like that's my best part of the day is going to train. So
Mhm.
if I had to go do 50%, like now if I've been injured a couple times where I just went in there to get blood in that, but and that
Yeah.
wasn't like that was probably my 50% or whatever where I'm just trying to stretch it and get blood in an area. But I've never been like, let's just see what fuck. I'm just like, I'm not going. And
Yeah.
me not going to the gym for many years was kind of like, are you sick, dude? Because even when I was sick, I had to go. Like it just makes me feel good knowing
Mhm.
that I went. I don't look at it like that anymore. But if I were to have to, like they say, everyone's different about this, but your progressive overload, you have back off days or you have deload days. I'm just like, if I have to deload train, I just don't want to go. You know what I mean? I think a good
That's
rest
for
day
sure.
or a couple rest days is much better than a deload day. Now, I'm not chasing a 600-pound squat anymore. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
when I go to the gym, I want to make it effective, whether it's 2 sets to failure or all 4 sets to failure. That's how I look at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like when I started training, like and Chris knows, it's by far my favorite part. Like, I'm getting back into competing now, and I've competed in some other sports, but I've always just loved to train. Like, it's always been my favorite part. I'll talk to Chris all day about training if he wants to. We started out together. I did bodybuilding, and then we had talked about this day when we were talking about regrets. I'm like, well, I kind of gave it up early because I'm like, well, I'm 6'5". You can't tell me sit down. I'm 6'5", so I get discouraged because I'm like, well, I'm never going to fill this frame out. Judges are always going to write your legs need to be bigger, and I always like lifting heavy, so I'm like, okay, we'll go to powerlifting. Before I did powerlifting, I actually kind of transitioned because I was kind of up and coming as a strength and conditioning coach. So I was doing like athletic workouts for. I was doing like Olympic lifts, so I'm doing box jumps. I'm out there running sprints. Chris, I ran a 58-second 400 at 295 pounds. Like I missed my mark doing some type of like endurance, like
I
in,
know.
endurance work, whatever. I should have been like a cyclist or a swimmer or something. But then I did powerlifting. And to your point, Turner, like the only time I've ever hated training was deload weeks during powerlifting because like they were so necessary. You've worked up to like a max single or however the training cycle would go, 8 to 12 weeks. And this deload week would come and it'd be like 50%. And I'd literally be like, I don't even want to go. And honestly, I'd go in and it was almost like psychological where I'd be like, my joints would hurt more. I'd put like if I was like up to like a 4 plate bench, we'd be like, okay, we're gonna do 2 sets of 5 with 225, and somehow it felt like 405 on the bar because I mentally like was checked out that this is a pathetic workout. It's not even worth coming in for, and I just despised it, just despised him. But I feel like no matter what I've done, I've always just wanted to just go in and train as hard as possible. But sometimes it has hurt me. Like I've had, injuries, and then when I come back, I never ease back in. We go in and I almost like dismantle myself, and we take, one step forward to go 3 steps backwards because I could never like ease back into training. You know what I mean?
No, I 100% know what you mean, and that's the thing. Like I've been injured numerous times. Never like I've got some buddies, and I want to ask your. I mean, I know your answer, but like I've got a buddy like Chris, or his name's Cade, and he's tore his lat off the bone. Maybe not off the bone, but he's tore his lat. He's tore his pec. He's tore his tricep. He did tear his tricep, like just severed it, and and at this point now he's older and he's got a kid and stuff. So he doesn't, he still like wants to be big. We talk all the time and he's like, dude, I ain't missed a meal in fucking 8 years. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? And he's probably 6'2", 280, like in really good shape. Not like run a mile shape, but like lean, hard, not, TRT, whatever. But like what you said, getting to 150 and then crawling out of that, I've always been like, wow, man, that's crazy that people would tear multiple muscles really, really bad to a point that's a complete setback and then just build their way back up. But since that's always been my thought as a younger kid, and then as I got older, I tore my hamstring a year and a half ago, and then it was on the mend, and then a year later from the first time I tore it again in the exact same spot, and that was both of those were pretty like it sucked because I couldn't go train legs at all. I still wanted to try to do as much as I could, but my mentality of training has totally changed over the years. I still want to go in and train as hard as possible because that's my best part of the day. And so no matter how bad my day is, a good training session always just trumps like your girlfriend breaking up with you or whatever. Like if I have to have a good workout, shit, man, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like the world might suck when I walk out of the gym, but like for that 2 hours, I'm fucking rocking on. But it's
Yeah.
not about, I don't have the mentality or the motivation like I used to as a 25-year-old. Like I want to take over the world as a bodybuilder. I still love to train like a bodybuilder. I still love to. People ask me this all the time. They're like, "Are you gonna always eat like that?" And I'm like, "Listen, what you don't understand is when I work out and have good workouts, that's the best thing I got going. Like, really, really is. Now I got a kid and all that, and that doesn't compare, but it kind of does. So when my workouts are good because I ate all my meals, why would I stop that? Now, if something happens and I have to one day, whatever, but I'm always going to eat like this as long as I train because when I eat my meals and I eat my good food, I feel good, I train good, and that is like I'm good. You know what I mean? So even like you talk about hitting rock bottom, I could see how hitting rock bottom as a competitor and all those things. We always sit around and like, that's lame. They hit rock bottom. Like, remember when Keon like 2 years ago was like, I'm going to take off and work on my mental
Yep.
focus and this and that. And everyone was like, he's a fucking idiot. Why would he do that? Like, what do you mean? You can't go to the gym? You got to work on your mental. And then he comes back and wins the fucking Olympia twice or whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
that, you don't, there's just so much going on in the world. We're always caught up in what we're doing. But yeah, back to that whole talk scenario.
I
I
do have a
I
question.
enjoy the gym, and so when my workouts are good, I don't mind eating my food. You know what I mean? When you're not, if you take 2 weeks off from the gym, don't go at all. You're not going. You've told yourself you're not going. That 2 weeks of eating food, it becomes a little more mentally challenging on you because you're like, I'm not even going to go to the gym for 2 weeks. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like 6 meals every day, and I'm not going to go to the gym for 20 days or whatever it looks like. You understand what I'm saying? So it's kind of like it's always like putting a little fire on that or putting a little wood on that motivation fire.
I want to ask you guys on this because I think it's a guy thing. So I feel the exact same way that you guys are. You guys know we're all the same. When we're on vacation, so we went to Italy last year, you guys know, we have a lot of trips planned this year. I feel like this is a guy thing because like she'll say, "Well, you don't need to do that." It's like I'll see all the sites. The sites are still going to be there. The Grand Canyon is still going to be there. But first, I'm not missing a fucking training session. I'm not missing it. The
Right.
sites are going to be there. I feel like that's a guy thing because I've never heard a female say, "I got to go to the gym first. I'm not missing a session." It has to be a guy thing, right?
Well, go ahead.
I've done some ridiculous things. Like we used to, like, gosh, this is before we moved here. Like we would come here every summer for like a road trip, and I remember like we'd leave, and I would literally plan. I would plan where we're gonna stay so that I was as close to whatever gym I was gonna train at as possible. Like I remember the first day, like we leave Texas, and like I'm like, yeah, we're staying in Amarillo. She's like, "Oh, it's like 7 hours away." She's like, we can get farther than that. I go, after Amarillo, there's nothing. So then I won't have a gym. So I'm like, that's as far as we're going. And then the second day we stop in Colorado and we're going to go through Rocky Mountain National Park. And she's like, why are we staying in this town? I go, because there's a gym and there's a gym like 10 minutes from this hotel. I'm going to train before we go to the park in the morning. And I sequence it all out.
I
Oh
love
yeah.
it.
When I was younger and competing was life, that was the same way. Like my family would go on multiple vacations a year, like paid. Like we're taking the whole family, we're gonna go. I wouldn't go. Like I want to train, dude. I want to go to my gym. I want to make sure I get 3 meals in before I train, and I don't have to question that. So I look back now, having stepped away from competing, and I'm like, damn, I don't know where I would have been if I would have taken all those trips. But now where I am, and I got a kid and things like that. I do the same thing. If I'm gonna, it depends on where we're going, how long we're gonna go. is it worth fighting? And what I mean by that is like we went on a Disney cruise for 4 days a couple weeks ago, and the Disney cruise has got a gym, but it's like 8 pieces and some dumbbells up to 50, and it's like you know couple spin bikes and shit like that. And then there's other people in there too. And my family, they're like, "Are you gonna go work out while we're on the boat?" And I'm like, "Fuck no, dude. Like, I don't want to go in there and get a half-ass bullshit workout. And my meals are gonna be chopped up a little bit because you can. And I'm like I said, I'm just like you guys. It may be a guy thing, but
Mhm.
where I'm at now, I'm like, what I'm saying is, if we're staying in a place where there's not a gym, I'm not going to get a hotel workout gym. I'm just going to take off because I know where I'm at. My body can benefit more from a day off than a hotel gym workout. You know what I mean?
I
Mhm.
think it's like I'm almost in the reverse now though of like now that I'm getting back into competing, I almost feel like if I were to go somewhere now I wouldn't. I would just be like because in the in-between period when I kind of like exited powerlifting, but I'm like I still want to be big, I still want to look good. I knew myself well enough to know that one, if I didn't work out, then I'm probably going to not do what you said, where like my meals aren't going to be good that day because I'm going to be like whatever. So if I started the day in the gym, it put me in a good place knowing I'm going to make better choices with my meals. Or if I made a bad choice, well, at least I got to work out in. I knew myself well enough to know that if I didn't do that, I'm going to go off the rails. I'm going to eat whatever because you stop at gas stations and you grab whatever fast food that you can grab in the little towns that you pass through. And so I almost felt like I needed that to keep myself in check. Where now, like discipline things have altered to where I feel like a week, 2 weeks, I can make do. I'll make better food choices. Like you said, that it's not really going to change my body. I'm going to bounce back. If anything, at this age, like the rest, the recovery will probably do more for me than forcing a workout when I'm probably dehydrated a little bit, maybe not sleeping as well in the hotel, and just trying to get something in.
But to that whole thing, what you're talking about, if we're going to the Grand Canyon or whatever, for me to travel, and this has become like my family eats the way I do, not bodybuilder like I do, but like we have a meat and potato or and a vegetable or a salad, like good. Like I spend a lot of money on good food. You know what I mean? Not just like I don't. We might eat out twice a month, and
Sure.
but anyways, if we're going to the Red Rock Mountains or whatever, we'll get a Airbnb that I can cook all my meals. And so if we went on a vacation and it's about sightseeing and spending time with family, I will make sure that I have my meals. That is one thing that like I said, I always eat clean because I know how my workouts are going to be when I come back to them. And so if I can get my meals in and pack a backpack and take 4 meals with me for the day, I don't care. Like hiking 18 miles up, in elevation, I'm like, God, I'm still not there. Like I don't enjoy that shit, but if there's some cool stuff I can see, like I might not make it 18 miles. You might catch me 4 miles up and you go on and I'll catch up with you. But like I do like to do things like that now, and I just pack my food. It's simple. You know what I mean? We spend a little bit more money because we go to the Airbnb and we have to go to the grocery store. But like I don't know, I'm just kind of in a different place as to where I was then. But like we do go certain places. Like if I go to Vegas and we get an Airbnb and I'm gonna go to the grocery store and I'm gonna train while I'm there. If it's the mecca of training, I'm gonna train. We go to Colorado and I go to Armbrust.
Armbrust.
You just like there's certain places you don't skip a workout there. You know what I mean? Just to
Sure.
go in, see what you can see. But like I said, like the hotel gym workouts or whatever, I'm just like, nah, I'm gonna take today's gonna be a rest day because I know like the aches and pains that I have today, a good rest day makes me feel so much better. And when I was younger, I didn't care. I'm like, I want to train. And this is something I want to ask you. Like, I know you've seen the thing lately where Lee Priest was like, we used to train twice a day, and nowadays people train for 40 minutes, and you know they think that's enough or whatever. And he was like, we train for twice. And then even Justin was on podcast saying that for 10 weeks leading into whatever prep, he trained every single day.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know what's right or wrong, but
You know the difference, Turner? The difference, they're taking out a key component here, and the component is those guys were getting $100,000 supplement contracts. Like
hey,
Lee Priest was for Twin Lab, Muscle Tech, all these companies. So it's like, hey, if you got a couple hundred grand coming in and your entire life is dependent on you getting to the gym once or twice, maybe three times a day, you're going
Right.
to do it.
Right.
But it's like now, with social media, now it's like, well, I don't really have to because I have, 40K from social media or I have this and that. So it's like, when they had a magazine contract, when, Priest was winning the Ironman, there's a payday there. They're making 5 grand off of each guest appearance. Like,
Yep.
imagine racking that up. It's like, why would you not train twice a day if you're getting a deep tissue work after your first workout?
Yep.
You're taking a nap. Of course, you train twice a day. He was living right by, Gold's Gym.
I think
Yep.
if I was getting the 10 plus hours of sleep, yeah, you'd get it's like Dorian said, he'd sleep and then he'd also take a nap during the day. It's like, yeah, when that's your life and you can do that and you don't have kids and other businesses to run, like, yeah, of course. Like I'd be all in too. But
Absolutely.
man, I think I told you, I mean, when I did that, I mean, I did that diet for fun when I was like 31. I told you for 16 weeks, I trained every day. I lifted every day, 7 days a week. I had a program, and as soon as the day would start over, I would just go in again. I was doing double cardio sessions at the end. Was it stupid? Probably, but I felt good. I didn't want to take days off. I was like, I love training so much. We're just going to go every day. I still made like, there were lifts and things that I made progress on the whole time, despite training 7 days a week. I think we're capable of a lot more than we think we are. It's like now I almost side with I like Lee's perspective more than I like seeing, well, all you
Oh,
need to do is 4 sets of 4 to 6 reps. If the reps have come down, the volumes come down, the sets have come down, the time you're in the gym has come down. Like I'd rather side with Lee that he's going to be more right than these people that are in there for 30 minutes
mhm.
Correct.
doing
Mhm.
3 sets.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
I
wild.
want I want to talk about something too, as kind of like our final topic. I want to dive into the mindset for a little bit. So for the viewers that don't know Kirkhoff, he's doing his second prep. So we prepped together, 20 some years ago when we were in college. We did our show together. Like he said, he's done various things from strength and conditioning to powerlifting competitively, back to bodybuilding, had many injuries. Now he's doing his second prep. We talk every day, all day about training, diet, life, everything. But if you think about someone doing their second prep, a lot of times I'm hearing just complaints or problems. Like, I don't really hear anything from him. So it's like, it kind of goes back to like a mindset. You have to have the right mindset when you're doing something hard, you know?
I think you just like if you don't, I mean, there's a lot of people that do this sport, and I'm like, do you even enjoy it? Because I'm like, there's times where like I've died. I mean, I've died down so many times. Like, yeah, this is official contest prep number 2, but it's like I've died down 5 or 6 times. I mean, 2 years ago, I was 2 weeks out probably. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I was like, oh, that was just for fun. We were just resetting where we were at because I knew that I was getting ready to get back into it. So I'm like, we gotta reset the weight because we're probably too fat. So we'll take it all the way. I did that for fun. Like, I don't understand like why people do this if you hate it the whole time. If you're gonna cheat on the diet, you know what I mean? If you're gonna complain about every single thing you have to do, like you don't like the sport, then just find something else to do. You know what I mean? Just be a recreational lifter and like go live your life doing something else. I don't understand it.
I got an example, and I think this may just be a piece of that puzzle, but like the fact that you had a home gym, you had to go do it yourself every day. You know what I mean? Like you didn't know that like a one of your bros is going to be there and y'all could fist bump and kind of run some motivation back and forth. Like having a home gym requires a certain level of discipline and motivation within yourself to just go do it. When it's cold, I don't know if it was heated or cooled or whatever, but like the elements are
I'll
usually
tell
a
you about
little
the
bit.
temperature conditions in there.
Exactly. The elements are a little different usually at a home gym rather than the gym that is super accommodating. But this is just kind of an example. My dad has had, like I said, he's had a home gym as far back as I can remember. Now his home gym is like it's like a garage that's been closed in, and he's got a Smith machine and a peg deck, and he's got like he's got multiple things. He's got everything he needs: the treadmill, the spin bike, the lat pull down, dumbbells up to a certain point, and I got him a leg press, so he's got a leg press and a hack squat in one. We were on vacation, and he wanted to go get a workout, and which is funny because I'm like my dad was on vacation. We were at the beach, and he's like, I want to go get a workout in the morning. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, you got a home gym. Why do you want to go get a workout? Well, anyways, I was like, well, if we're going to go work out, we're going to go to a place that I know of that's a good gym and we'll get a workout together. Um, and so I think we were training shoulders and we were going through this little like tri-set or whatever that he had set up. And it was funny because just like all the public gyms, like there was this kid and he was sitting on a bench and he had his dumbbells here and in between his dumbbell in between training, he was just sitting on the bench like this texting. And my dad was like, hey buddy, just he wasn't like he didn't say like, hey man, this motherfucker's texting, like I'm gonna go up and ask him can I use his dumbbells. He just walked up to him and was like, hey, you're not using those right now. Do you mind if I grab them and just hit my set? And the guy was like, I've got like 3 sets left. And my dad came up to me and he was like, the fuck? Like he's not even gonna let me use them, and he's just sitting here texting. And I was like, you've trained at your house for so long that you don't understand. This is how it is nowadays. And he's gonna leave the gym, and he's gonna think that dude was a douchebag. Like he came up to me and like was bothering me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the
Mhm.
mentality they. And I just think it's funny. Like my dad for 2 days he talked about that. He's like, this fucker at the gym wouldn't even let me work in with him with the 25-pound dumbbells. Like I'm trying to hit a set and go on to the next thing. And I was just, it was funny because he asked me, he's like, I'm gonna get those. Do you want those? And I was like, I'm not even. I know where that's gonna go. So I just went and got like the 30s or something. And it was to me, it's funny. We always joke about it now, but I'm like, that's what today's gym culture is like.
Yeah, absolutely
But
right,
but but
man.
that's what I'm saying. I think that the fact that you had a home gym, you don't have to. There's a lot of people that go to the gym and the first thing they do is look for someone that they recognize that they can kind of give their spill to, whether it's coach just pulled some calories out or coach just bumped my food or coach just pulled my gear out. Like they got to go in there and talk to their buddy and say that. Like you having a home gym, you just like you've got a plan, you're locked in, you're going to go do it. You know what I mean? And I feel like the home gym, that mentality is a little old school. There's not a lot of, you don't see a lot of young kids, younger people our age. I don't know how old you are, Kirkover, but like the 25-year-olds don't have a home gym. It's kind of like the 35 up people that like work, got a job and kids and shit structured, and they just did that because it makes everything in life fit because they want to train.
Yeah, well, we're from that era, the forums, the magazines. There wasn't any of this social media crap. You learned by doing. You learned from seeing other people, not experts making reels on Instagram. But I
Yeah.
mean, having the gym was it was life changing for me because it happened during COVID. That was part of it. I drove an hour to the gym. I drove 2 hours. I had a 2 hour commute to get to the gym that I was going to, an hour there, an hour back, and I was assuming that Austin traffic wasn't just absolutely brutal. So getting that time back, with my kids when they shut that stuff down, I'm like, "Ugh, I'll just build this myself." And I had all the cardio equipment in there. I had like a 65-inch TV in front of it. Like there was just so many nice things. And the funny thing about the temperature though is that in Texas it's like June through September, it's 100 plus
Fine.
every day. And I installed like a $5,000 like HVAC system, and I'm like talking to the guy. I'm like, what in reality, like, what are we getting the temperature down to in here in the summer? He's like, oh, well, you'll get this thing down to like low 70s. I shit you not, 89 would be like the lowest. If it was over 100, we weren't getting below 89. So I cranked the AC just to get us down to 89. Like by the time you tied your shoes, you were sweating. Like your warm up was tying your shoes, and like I didn't have to do anything. I felt so good training in that gym because of how hot it was. And the only reason you have it is for like January, February, you get some like 20 degrees. I needed the heating element to get it above 70. So I didn't really
Right.
need the AC did almost nothing, but uh yeah, it was a different vibe. I feel like people would have struggled to train in there because there were times where like I'd go through 2 or 3 shirts just in the session because they'd be so sweaty.
That's awesome. I love that, man.
Mhm.
It's funny though, like you go in the gym today and I always joke and say it's like 68, 69 in these big box gyms. It might be like 72 or 73, but 72 in the gym feels like, golly, I need to start with my hoodie on. You know what I mean?
I wear
Like
I wear a hoodie almost the whole workout now because I feel
Yeah.
like it's just vastly different.
if it's
Yeah.
not 76 or like, pushing that, like you do run a risk of probably getting more injured, but but you're not really warm in 60. 69-degree weather or 69-degree temperature. And that's why I think like no, yes, the temperature in the gym has something to do with people not sweating, but the mentality is going to the gym and looking cute, and I did my makeup and I've got a matching like jersey with the matching shoes with the shit. You know what I mean? Like I still to this day wear like clothes that are old and raggedy as hell, and I've got like deodorant armpit stains in my gym shirts. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to the gym to look pretty by no means at all, or cute or smell good. You know what I mean? I don't stink in the gym, but I'm not there to be like seen.
Yeah.
I saw something yesterday that I know you guys would appreciate. So I was telling Kirkhoff this morning that, like we were talking about, gentlemen, like we're in a completely different era. Like we're seeing a lot of strange shit. So when we go to New Tech, I'm telling you, 99% of the people have a tripod. 99%.
Yeah.
So I used a tripod for the first time in my life yesterday to get footage. So I didn't have to bug her ass to get footage. And I'm just like, this is crazy. But what I'll tell you, what I saw yesterday is there was a guy doing, I don't know if he was doing a photo shoot or he was training with one of our new buddies. His name is Pedro. And he had his shirt off. So he was doing some type of content or documenting something, right? And he's doing this session with the newbie. But what I liked about it is that he was grunting his ass off the entire session. Someone that was training hard from start to finish versus, you got your one top set that you're going to film and then you're going to half-ass the rest of your workout, right? But this dude was grunting the entire session and I'm like, "You know what? I feel like I'm in a gym now."
Yeah, but here's the other part of it. He's training. Pedro's helping him with the newbie, so you got your trainer, right? And then he's got two women and another guy. You got two phone cameras out, and then like a professional camera. He's got three people filming all of this, and they're in like street clothes. And I'm like, this is a whole production, which to me, I'm like, this is a little over the top. I get filming, like when you're in prep and stuff, people do sessions with a videographer and whatnot. I get getting some content here and there, but do you need a whole entourage?
There was a group that trained together at House of Gains. There was like five or six of them. There was like two guys, five women. I'm not gonna say name, Chris. I'm gonna tell you who it is afterwards because you know who this is.
I know who it is already.
Tripods, like professional cameras. We got ring lights. Like it was like a Hollywood production. I'm like, where's
Oh
the
my
green
gosh.
screen? Like, you know what I mean? And then it was just like astonishing watching things. I mean, and you would catch them like out in the open, like filming stuff where they would like one of the girls would be leg pressing and she'd have like six plates on one side and like one on the other, but then they'd only film like
The
half of.
one side. What the
Like I'm
fuck?
like that.
Come
I'm like, am
on.
I actually seeing this out in the open? We're not even like trying to disguise this so we can post this later. Like it was unbelievable what was happening.
Wow. That's crazy.
Look, a top set, okay. But like let's do a top set on a just something that makes sense. I don't want to see your top set of, preacher machine curls. You know what I mean? Like, please, can we just that's what I think the industry's lost is like you go back to 2014 and we were putting our top sets of our squats or our hack squats or deadlifts or incline bench press. But now it's like got to be a montage that blends in that top set after top set after top set. And it's like, I don't want to see your one arm cable pec deck, cable pec fly where you're doing this for like 8 reps. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck what are we watching? There's
Mhm.
nothing there. You know what I mean? As he goes back, and I don't care if you're 200 pounds, there's nothing there to watch. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Why?
Yeah.
You're everything is like Chris D said a couple weeks ago. Like everything is too strict. If you've trained for 20 years, then you got the right to just be strict and controlled and know what you're supposed to feel and contract and stretch. But if you're under 25 years old, you need to just be balls in. You know what I mean? Like just hammer jamming it. And
Hmm.
and I think that like I don't know. I don't even know if there's like PE in school anymore. You know what I mean? Where kids get to just go be rough and tough, and it's just it. I don't know. I think that that's what we're missing. It's that part of society.
Yeah,
You
it's
kind of
totally
live.
different. Like if the three of us went in, and we're doing biceps and we grab the 35s, right? We're doing it totally different from a
Right.
25-year-old grabbing the 35s. I mean, every fiber you're feeling, right? It's just a different type of set.
100%. Yeah, like if we're in there and you guys want to deadlift, and Kirkhoff are strong as shit on deadlifts, and he's up doing 455 and wanting to put another plate on, I'm just gonna be like, all right, dude, I'm checking out. Like y'all take it. You know what I mean? Like that whole like that shit was great before I was 30 years old. Now I'm not all about that anymore. Like I don't care. I just want to look strong and feel good in the workout. Not I don't have to be the strongest mofo in the gym anymore. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And
So
there's
Yeah.
certain lifts too that it's like, you know what's a risk versus reward? Like, deadlifts certainly like. And again, when you only had a limited amount of footage back in the day, like let's see, you only had like, Chris has got every competitor's DVD that's ever been created, and all we have is, we're training. It's 2002, and all the only person that we can learn from to do a barbell row is Ronnie Coleman, and he obviously is doing 5 plates, but there's there's momentum there. You watch Jay Cutler do a lateral raise, like holy shit, looking back at it, you're like, there's a lot of momentum there, but you're not going to get hurt doing a lateral raise. You know what I mean? So like, there's no reason to sit here with 15s. Like today, I did shoulders after chest, and it was like we grabbed the 30s. It was like 30s for 20, 40s for like 15. I'm like, fuck it, here come the 50s. Yeah, we're gonna swing the shit out of these, but we're gonna get some dealt. I'm not gonna get hurt doing a lateral raise. You know what I
right.
mean? Like,
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you're not getting me to, front squat 315 anymore, or 455 on squat. I just know I can make my legs grow without that much weight. You know what I mean?
right.
But I still have the mental barrier, not barrier, but when I go in and I want to squat, like there's days I want to squat and I want to squat heavy, but I'm like when I start getting up to 300 pounds, I'm like, Turner, you know what you're doing. Squat this for 20 reps and walk away, or do 2 sets. But you don't need to make it 365 or 405. And oh, it feels good today, so I'm just going to push it a little bit. I'm just like, you know what I mean? Those days are long gone for me.
Yeah.
Well, there's certain exercises that I feel like they're cut out. I haven't thought about a barbell squat in 10 years, probably since I walked off the powerlifting platform. I don't think about a flat bench press. Even when I see somebody do it, like I haven't since literally the last meet I ever did, haven't benched since, and I haven't ever even felt the desire to put a bar on a rack again and do it. So
I agree. But that's because we want to train another day. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I tell this to
Yeah.
people all the time. They're like, I bet you train heavy as hell, or I bet you can bench press this and that. And I'm like, dude, if I injure myself, I'm out. If I seriously injure myself, like when I tore my hamstring those couple times, I couldn't train legs for 2 months. And that's mentally like I'd rather be able to train for those 2 months rather than risking it at 35, 36 to be out for 2 months. You know what I mean? Just not
Yeah.
certain things you think about them different now.
Yeah. It's just not worth it. Like you think about that and it's like it is different too when like you guys were saying, like before every set, there's just like that quick flash, like, is this too heavy today? Or should I go for it? And it's like you're more aware, even though like you're still in the zone, like, I take my pre-workout and I'm flying, I'm in the zone, but it's just like, and I have that goal in mind, but you're just more hyper aware of like, what could this do to me if something goes wrong? If
Yep,
there's no one by to like catch the weight, you know?
100%.
Yeah. Well, this has been a good one, gentlemen.
Absolutely.
Always great talking training and bodybuilding. Make sure
Absolutely.
you put your questions in. Throw it in the comments. Do you bring a tripod with you to the gym?